the last hurdle, and in fact, Chris is responsible for the test that I got him to do for it, where we can have object containers, which is the interior collection of assets, loaded as an item, loaded onto the ship, because that's how the rear of the hull C is attached to the ship and moves with it. What had stopped us technically going any further with this was items inside those object containers couldn't talk to the vehicle it was connected to.
Right.
So the example of the Retaliator, the torpedo droppy arms, they're actually part of the exterior of the ship currently because that's the only way they can work. So if we allowed you to swap the modules, no matter what module you had, there'd be a pair of torpedo arms dangling through the middle of it. Chris did a test where he attached a load of missile racks and torpedoes to the inside of the back of the hull C, which is not going to ship with it.
Wait, you're saying we're not having a torpedo hull C?
Yeah.
There is a shelf that says "Do not submit" in very large letters.
And the pilot had full control of that, and they could fire them. So after the hull C ships and we found any more quirks with that setup, we're in a position where, to my knowledge, touch wood, technically there's nothing stopping us doing modularity now. That was the last big hurdle for it.
There's nothing technically stopping us from doing it, but there's also priorities and
might be
things, and
logistics.
building a team.
Nothing technically stopping us.
Yeah, nothing technically stopping us. Yeah.
So what I heard was that whole CMX at CitizenCon.
Oh yeah, just full of size 9 torpedoes.
All of the cargo arms are just full of torpedo racks that just fire out.
All right, next one. We're just going to put the camera right on John Crew. Physicalized damage. This has been one of those, when we talk about things that hold up this system or that system, the idea of bullets and ballistics and then passing through and damaging the components within a ship has been linked to be the keystone to so many other developments. Anything you can tell us about physicalized damage?
Good news part 2.
Uh-oh.
So it is really under heavy active development at the moment. So physics team have done a lot of work in the last 6 months on it. We're now at a point where other feature and gameplay teams have joined them to sort of work out the quirks with it. The vehicle content team have provided assets of ships set up in this new way of doing things. Should caveat this, it's not a vehicle thing, it's an everything thing. Every destructible system in the game will use this. So whilst everyone sort of uses the vehicle example of bullets going through ships, it replaces the prop breakable system, it replaces the environment breakable system, it replaces the vehicle damage system. There's another one I forget. So environment teams, prop teams, vehicle teams, we're all working on this at the moment with a bunch of use case scenarios that are with the engineers.
So it's more like an overall destructible physics system.
Yes, yeah. People have probably heard the word maelstrom in various monthly reports and pieces.
Checking whether that's legit or
It's
not.
not
I'll wipe the board when we get back.
Right.
So that's the name of that overarching system. It's definitely been said.
In all fairness, it's just the name for the system that they already knew was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the internal project name.
But by giving something a name, you give it power.
But it's more than just the physicalized damage for ships. It is a global destructible physics system that we're not going to sit here and commit to it being applied to every single element of Star Citizen. No. There's always going to be performance considerations. But you develop the system, and then you start to see where you can plug it in and apply
You'd find use cases for it. It'd be like a general system.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Chris. Let's see, what else we got? Ship tractors. Ship tractor beams were recently brought up again. What's the state of these and their large cargo counterparts?
So the ship tractor beams, we've done a... Can I talk? Yep. I'm just like John to make sure it's okay. We've done a lot of work with them recently. We have current implementation set up on multiple vehicles that are meant to actually have tractor beams attached to them. Their current implementation works from a vehicle setup standpoint. There's still some remaining work to do from the actual EUPU team. They're actually delivering the vehicle tractor beams themselves. But right now in the environment we've developed it, you can spawn the ships that have them in and use them. a big bit of confusion is because the sizing, when we did some of it, we did it to weapon sizes instead of component sizes, whereas EUPU have done their development on it. They've decided they want to go in the direction of component sizing rather than weapon sizing. So some of the size numbers will have changed, but how much they lift is consistent for how much we've always wanted it to lift. So, for example, instead of going all the way up to I think the biggest one we ever said was size 6 or size 5 or something. Like the biggest one now will be the size 3. We might do size 4 if we ever do something for a very niche situation. But
the SRV is
the SRV
3 now.
Is a 3, but that 3 is able to move ships. But size 2s can do 32 SU containers. I can't remember how much size 1s and 0s do, but we've just reformatted it as the systems start formalized a lot more. But on the ships, we've got an implemented version of it working currently.
As far as the vehicle content team is concerned, we've done a pass on the artwork to ships that were supposed to feature a tractor beam. We've now added kind of supporting geometry for them and made sure that it actually works, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the
Caterpillar.
Yep.
Caterpillar's got
Nomad
2.
Cutlass 315P.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one more.
I feel like there's one more.
Was it?
Connie Taurus.
Yeah.
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 On its,
We didn't
lower
really
turret.
do anything for that one though, but it was kind of a freebie, right, for now. But we want to
For now.
probably at some
But
point. with the
we've done
turrets.
proper geometry integration for the ones where there just wasn't any, because there wasn't any on the Cutlass, there wasn't any on the 315, there wasn't any on the Nomad. So there's proper integration for them now.
There was stuff kind of hinting it, but it wasn't.
It's
It
proper.
wasn't legit, so to speak.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually a utility mount with a actual.
Yeah, so they're now proper
vehicle
turrets, so you
tractor on
can swap to the view and use
Yep.
them and move boxes and things.
How's the golden standard for the Retaliator going? We'll get to that point where we do some updates on ships general, but this was a highly voted question.
It is in progress. We're working on the cockpit at the moment, bring it up to modern standards because it's a bit
Yeah.
old-fashioned, I guess is one way to say. It's not really got MFDs to the right metrics anymore.
Right.
Doing it for Squadron first, and then it'll work its way into the P when we're happy with what we need to do for Squadron.
Will there be a way to dock a reclaimer to a station in the future to avoid needing to go down to the planet to retrieve it?
So we wanted that originally for the original implementation of the docking collars, but we found that the current positioning of the arms and the engines were off. So we're going to have to go in and fix that, as well as I think we've found the actual doors were the wrong size as well. So we need
The
to
door
sort
is
them
just
as well.
some
I
random
thought we looked
door.
at that and we did some work towards.
No, we wanted to do it. We just
Okay.
didn't have time when we were doing all the other
Docking
salvage
collars.
work.
So it's wanted, but it's
Guys, just to quickly update you why I'm live. I want to see this ship roundtable and listen to it. Unfortunately, the timing on their website was wrong. They start at 10 o'clock Central. And today morning when I read this, it said 11 o'clock. So we are here live, Star Citizen on Twitch,
Complete rework for the reclaimer.
listening to the ship's team, development team, the ship's roundtable. And I will write down on the side the news.
like the rear cargo lift and everything needs
Yeah,
probably
the
doing.
whole rear section of everyone's favourite multi-stage elevator,
Wait, did you say Starfare or reclaimer?
reclaimer.
Okay, so Starfare is perfect.
Stuffer is not perfect.
The Starfire is having its insides pulled out, redone completely.
Can I watch that? Can I watch you?
Stream it pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
We have personal feelings too. Let's see. We talked a lot about the capital ships. Things like this. One of the most voted up questions here is about the Polaris. Simply put, is the Polaris actually in production? It shows that it is on the progress tracker, but the Apollo was once on the progress tracker at one point as well, and priorities change, and yada, yada, yada. So we'll go to Camera John here. But there's one. Camera John. There we go. Oh, no, Ben, that just sounded like Ben wanted the question.
No, I didn't.
You were talking crap
think it's
about it.
only
Okay,
fair.
Ben.
All right.
So is the Polaris in production?
I'm going to talk about the Apollo.
Let's talk about capital ships and whether they're in development. So Apollo.
The Apollo is now a capital ship.
Yeah, it grew so much.
don't.
All right, we'll talk about the Polaris. So the Polaris is I'd say it's more in pre-production. Like we are spending time investigating it at the moment. As we've already kind of hinted on, when it comes to doing our capital ships, we want to make sure that we're tackling them in a way that allows us to scale up to not just do one capital ship and we can tick off a few more from the lineup. It is like literally the last couple of weeks we've been looking at it, breaking down the concept, breaking down what is involved with actually delivering it. I think what people need to understand as well is, this is quite an old ship. The concept is quite old. There's a lot of gaps in it, as Corey mentioned. So really, we're just doing our kind of, our sanity check on everything, make sure we've got everything in progress. It will be going into full production
very soon.
Shortly, yeah, very, very soon.
Very soon, TM.
So
Chris deleted the old interior setup level for it this afternoon, ready for the new one. So that's how soon it is.
We are working on it.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
it isn't a full team on it yet.
Okay.
We're doing the pre-productions.
that's
in the pipeline last time. There's been a lot of pre-planning changes to help us further, not have us trip over ourselves. So it is in production in that sense.
yeah,
It's
it
just-
hasn't started like
artist hasn't
white
cracked
boxing.
open
Yeah,
Max
like we haven't
started
started like
making the walls.
adding assets to the editor and stuff, but we are basically doing a full breakdown of what we've got, working out how we're going to tackle it, trying to get the plans in place, and answer the questions. There's some holes in the concept which we could do with a little bit more work on, and they're a bit loose. So it's just kind of breaking down that stuff. But we're not we haven't got a team of artists that are working on it. We have one, and then I look at it every so often, Corey sticks his nose in it, and it's just, it's us we want to come to a point where we can come together, have a proper kick-off with the team that are working on it, and go, okay, we know what we're asking you to do, rather than being like, hey, everyone, let's have a look, click, this is cool, Yeah,
and to touch on the roadmap.
Unorganized.
something that
These
often
people are
gets, overlooked
unorganized.
On the roadmap is it
The way
doesn't
they talk, man.
particularly show people moving on and off projects.
Someone needs
or
to kick their
tasks.
ass.
So you could have
I'm sorry.
someone on the Polaris for 1 week and they go off it for a week and then they go back on it for another week. That will show as 3 weeks continuous, or you could have one person come on, one person go off, then another person comes on, and that will show 2 people for that entire time. In conjunction with that, as part of all of our pipeline work, we've been moving away from our previous scheduling method, which is what the roadmap uses, to being more in Jira. And then because that live updates with the data as we're working.
They
through
change
things, and
everything
then
all the time.
at some
They
point
have
we
no
go back and put it
plan.
in there. So there is a bit.
You
of
need to
lag
set up
in how the
people.
roadmap updates.
You work
So,
on the Polaris.
Yes, people have been working on
will
it.
take
but
so
it's
many
not
weeks, and you
we've
stay
got
and you
8
stick
artists
to it.
working on it since 2 weeks ago when the roadmap said.
And they don't do it.
I was going to say, with the Apollo, because the Apollo was mentioned as well, that's pretty much what we've done on the Apollo. We had one artist working on it, doing all the pre-production work, making sure it was in a good state, answering all the questions that were unanswered on it, so it's ready to go into production. It is not in production.
Apollo is not in
We've got a whole team of
production.
artists working on it, but
Wow.
we've done all that preliminary work, and that's why it's not been on the roadmap, because someone's been allocated to it, they've been chipping away at it and getting it ready.
All right, let's see. Next question says, some ship designs have flaws with component swapping. How will this be addressed on legacy ships, and especially where components won't fit past doors or airlocks?
Hey, Henry.
Like ladders? I was just gonna look at Mark instantly.
Yeah, I can go with it.
Welcome, my
So,
friend.
A lot of that's what gold
Welcome,
stands
Thomas
for.
is the first
So when
chatter
we
and has
go through
been
and do gold
first one
standards,
times.
using the Retaliator as an example, a lot of
Welcome,
the
little
components
Jack,
wouldn't fit
please.
through the doors of the Retaliator as you tractor beam them out and move them. So the doors and things have been widened so they would actually fit. Another thing is,
I'm
what
just pissed
components
off already,
actually
man.
meant to be taken out with tractor beam. So it's size 3, and
Sorry.
capitals obviously aren't meant to be tractor beam.
I was on a rant
Supposed to
already.
Go to a dry dock, and someone else will take it out for you because they're too large of components to do. Because theoretically, to get to them, you need to cut parts of the hull out because they're just too large for a person to lift. So the size 0, 1, and 2, you should be able to tractor beam out. Doors that don't fit currently, gold standard.
I will talk about this later, but
until we do gold standards on the interiors of a lot of the ships, there may be.
they hurt my feelings already.
Places you can't get the components through.
There is a couple random occasions where we get as artists oh, can you jump on this ship for it's like a half an hour fix to allow you to get your components out your ship and
Listen to
have
this.
those. We've got all of the ships.
They are all over the place.
Divvied up amongst
They are
ourselves,
not.
so even though
They are
people
not
leave and
organized
join,
in
the
a
list of all of the
planned
ships,
fashion.
Okay, you're responsible for these.
They
There's
start
a
all
component
kinds of
swapping issue
shifts,
on, a particular
then they
ship.
cannot finish it.
Like one of mine,
They
I think,
don't have the
had
resources.
to,
This company has almost 1,000 people and almost no one's working on ships. The most important thing of Star Citizen, the ships. And they don't make any progress. They just mentioned the Polaris. They
you got
start from
spare time to
scratch.
do that, you quickly look at, you're like,
The
oh,
concept is too
that
old,
will
and it didn't
hopefully
even
make
start it.
life
It's now they start a little
do
bit
try to,
in
even though
the working on the interior with
ship
with one
takes a long
person.
time, I will disappear for like an hour or two if it saves you guys the grief, you know.
It pisses me off, man.
Depends on the amount of work, right?
Yeah, yeah. if
People
it's like a
spend so
massive
much money
overhaul,
on
like,
these
obviously
things.
that takes-
None
we
of
need-
the
we need-
They brag that they have
like,
so many
sneak it in,
so many
like, I'll
people,
try, yeah.
Some of it's really
but these
when
people here don't get
widespread
anything
that
done,
it's
man.
usually, modeled, or when someone created the component base, they just forgot to like cut a hole in the
Yeah.
collision for the components. So it's literally impossible to remove it because it's like behind the collision of the exterior, for
I think
example.
a lot of our ships were made before we had there was no feature work had been done on it, so we didn't know how we were going to tackle it. So we were just making the best decisions we could at the time.
Yeah.
And now we know better.
Yeah.
So that pipeline has evolved, and some of them are super quick. Some of them are like, this door has no animation, it has no mechanics to do the animation, there's just a hole behind it, and they're the ones that take a bit more time. They need a proper art pass, proper design pass.
That's why they call it game development and not game construction.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Vanguard's a good example, right? Had that little railing, which from that point looked nice, having that little railing as you
That
go
the
up the
one I did?
stairs. I think so, where you just
That
cut
was
the
the one I
railing
did,
off.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I
it's a
just
small
removed
little
the rail,
thing, easier to do, but like at the time when we did it, looked good from that standpoint. No one really thought, oh, that railing's going to get in the way of the components, because it wasn't something that people actively
Same,
thought about
same
at
with
the
some of the component hatches that have doors that sort of clamshell open.
Yeah.
They were done so they open it, looks nice and cool, and like, yeah, it'll fit out there.
You can
But
get
then
the
when
stuff-
it comes to actually taking it out,
just
they're like, they're a centimetre not far open enough.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of little things that you don't spot.
And this is the kind of stuff that happens with any video game. It's just usually they don't have a live environment in the middle
Yeah.
of their development.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's it's just tech debt, really. Like, a feature comes online, it gets proven out, and then if we have to re-implement that into a bunch of like existing assets, we try our best to anticipate what kind of features will be coming, but we don't necessarily know how that feature will work. So,
They have no clue.
of being sort of a team that's affected by a feature is you have to then retroactively support it.
They just
So I
confirmed,
think
he
that's a big part of
confirmed
what
that they
gold
don't know
standard
what
is.
features are planned.
These are all the
They don't
features
know
we
what the
need
other people are
to
doing.
support in
It's
our
always what
vehicles,
I'm saying about
basically
CIG.
making those vehicles comply with those features.
We had it with salvage as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
It was like exactly the same thing where it was like, oh, there's like loads of quick fixes we can do, or like, okay, we need to dedicate some time to this. And then when salvage first came online, we like had quite a few of us working
big
on it
pass.
to really try and like get that stuff sorted out. And other ships that were made maybe more recently, or whenever like particular ships, you'd go to fix it and you're like, this is fine.
Yeah.
Great.
It
Big
becomes
green
a
tick.
part of your,
Yeah.
your validation. It becomes a part of the like acceptance criteria for the ship. Is it needs to support this feature. So we would bring those features into the like review process and basically make sure actually, if we're making a new ship, it should have physicalized components, etc. That all of the features that exist for the ship will be, validated as a part of the review process. So it's more the older content that was kind of, when we first started out, we were kind of discovering what a ship.
It's why each one of these that we make,
Yeah.
we get better at it.
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
The Rock DS.
It's fine.
Okay, what's going on?
Cut you off. And it's like, no, terminate it, cut them off.
Was that the
My gosh, man.
Kill it.
The salvage thing was a really good example of how some things you just
So the hour is almost over, and
plan for ahead of time. Like,
I don't know what happened the
salvage is coming
first
online, we know it's going to
30
use the damage
minutes
system.
because
We've done all that for
the
ships
schedule
already,
was
because that's what
messed
damage
up on the
does when
website.
you shoot ships, so we're good. And then when it came online,
And I'm
we were
like, every week they are
we're
going
not
10
good,
o'clock
yeah.
live.
we
Why
didn't realise
11?
quite how
And they
much
actually
of
did
the,
10 o'clock.
Like the visuals would affect the actual data. So the parts of the ship that were like slightly, wouldn't necessarily take as much damage, and they'd it'd look fine when you'd blown this thing up. But then it was meaning that you could never like 100% salvage the ship because you couldn't salvage like certain panels, and obviously it just looked a bit weird that you'd be salvaging along and it would just stop.
Same old story, yeah.
Yeah.
Or when there was stuff behind it that would make you see through, like
Yep.
some of the
Yeah.
component
Or salvage like the left wing, and then like
lot
the
of
rear
talk
right
and
fin would just disappear.
Nothing
You're like,
concrete, like
What's going on?
No,
we had so many
in
questions in
They're
chat.
debating whether I did that on purpose when I mentioned the my absolute adoration for the Rock DS. No, I did not do that on purpose. If I had done that on purpose, I would have said how much I really like the Rock DS, and then this would have happened. Let's see, we're almost out of time. Let's see how many more questions we can get in there. The C1 Spirit is marked to have an S3 tractor beam. Will the C1 be able to track smaller vehicles? And what's the difference between an S3 and an S5? This goes to your...
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. It's not supposed to track the vehicles. It's for 32 SCU cargo containers, the size 2. So it's getting changed to a size 2, but it's just part of the refactor of the tractor beam sizes.
It's still just as powerful as it was. It's just the
Yep,
name's changed.
it doesn't do any less or more than we said it was going to do originally. It's just that the numbering's changed because we're now doing component grading instead of weapon grading.
Does that mean it can? I don't know if I want to ask this question.
Go on, ask the question.
So if you've got like a PTV that's like super small, can that be picked up by a size 2?
32 SCU containers. What was set as the maximum, you'd have to ask a UPU.
Full of what though? Gold?
That's a UPU.
Water.
It's their feature.
Come on, give us the answers.
So
All right, I'll just go ask.
Is the PTV smaller or larger than 32?
Well, physically it's smaller.
Physically.
Yeah, it's much.
And it would weigh less?
Definitely would have less mass.
I feel like I'm getting someone into trouble here. Do the redacted thing.
Quick call Thorsten.
Yeah.
Yeah, ring Thorsten.
Can we get Thorsten on the line?
So that's confirmation that the new tractor beams will be able to lift a gray cat. Let's see.
I can hear the team's messages as well.
Can we take it serious,
We're
man?
going to break the door down.
What?
People spend
All right,
thousands.
You had to know this one was coming. What does the Fury and Cutter shutters mean for the Carrack?
It's not as cool.
We'll do them at some point.
No, who's taking it?
Me, I guess. So I want to put them on it. I just need to find time to do it. I was told today after learning of it, because I'm one of the newer members of the team, so I didn't actually know that Carrack needed these shutters and stuff. That's for like these guys who know it inside and out to tell me. So I was informed today, because the Carrack's one of the ships I look after. It's like, oh Dan, if you get time, you can put the blast shields on the Carrack, and I was like, oh, and you're going to say it on live as well. Now I'm going to get bombarded on Twitter until it's done. So
Oh, you've confirmed it.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
if you find Dan on Twitter, on Spectrum, if you can dig out his email address, feel free
Don't.
I will try for you guys, but yeah, it's just a case of time and like.
Dan doesn't dictate his own priorities.
Yeah,
so
to be fair.
When we talk about like, when you jump on for
blame
like,
me, it's fine.
it kind of comes back to like the salvage stuff or like the tractor beaming of components. Like if I look at it and I go, oh, that's a quick fix, it'll be a quick thing. But if I look at it and I'm like, that is not a quick thing, I need to ask for some time because it will affect my other work, then it becomes
Yeah, I mean, we did say that you can have a look at it and see how much work it is, and if the file's already been set up, all the animation data's there, it's all ready to go, and it's just a case of we just need to export it and do it, then cool. But if it's going to take you away from the current vehicle you're on for a week or two, then
when the Carrack was developed, we did prove out.
So Dan, on the right side,
Yeah. It's nice to
let
fix
me
bugs
move
with
this
the
text.
There's more to it.
It's
that
like
needs doing.
Dan on the right side, he actually created designed
you were gonna say
and
yeah,
developed the
No,
Fury.
no.
He's
What I'm
really
saying
good.
is we just proved out the spacing,
Young,
the animation,
talented, and
stuff.
good.
Like,
I hope they
it's gonna
don't burn him
need
out.
It's going to be large. It's going to need more detail and popping, all that stuff.
it's not going to take 5 minutes then.
No.
I mean, he did manage to build the entire Fury all by himself.
Yeah, I know.
Rip.
Now,
Now
I
they
was single
slow him
against-
down. They
memory
purposely slow him
Memory
down.
balance.
F's in the chat.
Let's
Wow.
see. A long time ago in the shipyard articles, you mentioned different component types. We talked about sizes, industrial, military, etc., and the ability to tune them. Is this still the plan? And if so, can you give us any hope for the future of tuning? Love Twingo? Oh, that's your car? Is it Twingo?
I'll talk about the Twingo for the rest of the time.
No.
It's sort of more of a EU-PU thing now. Definitely plans to have those different types, grades, sort of like performance windows for different items. And they have a pretty comprehensive engineer slash tuner slash repairer gameplay proposal that they're working on as part of some of the other features they're doing. So it's sort of tuning items is part of that role. So it's definitely planned.
Yeah, with that, let's see, anything else? Normally, we're just about out of time. Normally we do kind of a round robin on ships that are in production right now. Because like you said, sometimes the public roadmap falls a little bit out of sync and stuff like this. Can you just give us an update on ships that are what you would consider an active production as opposed to like pre-production. We know the Polaris is what we consider pre-production. Yeah. Somebody is on there scoping out the work necessary before it moves into production. But what's an active production right now?
We're in the danger zone here now.
Yep.
I'm going to slowly do it and look at John as a
Nothing.
So there's Redacted that's on Josh.
Yeah.
There's Adam's. Will I talk about that one?
I'm trying to think what Adam's doing.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Yep. We've got
Too late.
too late now. I was pretty sure that one was
Exactly.
Spirit in,
That's the face.
SLV just finished art and design.
Yeah. Obviously.
Hull C.
Yep. Hull
Just
C.
at the end, in its final teething.
We've got some
stages.
more redacteds that are on Chris. What else is it? What the US working on?
X1?
What's the US work?
X1's about to start on the US.
Technically, that's had a little bit of work done already, but
Yeah, the Storm is storming through production.
he did it.
No, it was in the segment. It was in the episode yesterday. Oh, you said the storm is coming through. Yeah, no, we actually, we missed a narrative bit. It's, again, some of those things that missed through. It's like, in case you guys didn't catch it from the episode, you know, the Tumble Storm is in a concept promotion right now as part of Invictus, but it is already in production with the LA
Well
ship
into
folks.
well
And
into production.
it's looking good. That stuff you saw at the end, that was not concept art. That was the actual white box and well into gray box stuff. It's looking great so far.
They're doing the Santok guy as well.
Yeah, we'll be updating for the We'll be showing you an update on the Santok Yai for Alien Week in just a few weeks.
Montreal working on some variants of an existing ship. I'm just trying to mentally go around the floor.
Pretty sure that's all of them. Because we're doing features
Retaliator
as well.
stuff we're doing, we talked about before.
G12?
G12 will be going, so in the next year, backlog ships that will be going into production, caveat, things can always change.
Yeah.
Polaris, Apollo, G12, Raylan, X1s.
I'm noticing something conspicuously absent. The
Merchant.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Band new.
So we'll talk about the merchantman briefly, because we discussed like how we want to do the backlog of capital ships. So we want to start with RSI, because doing the Polaris first helps reduce the amount of work needed for the Perseus and the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. So those three will likely be like a chain of dependencies from each other.
Kind of shared assets.
Yeah,
between-
there's a lot of shared assets between them. Obviously, the exteriors are like quite different, but you do an RSI hall kit or corridor kit, floor kit, doors, beds.
chairs.
Yeah, it all gets reused across them, maybe with some slight material differences. So there are a few things that are problematic with the BMM. Firstly, everything is unique.
Everything.
So it's not like we do one corridor kit.
It can't be modular.
Yeah, it
It's
can't
so
be
many
modular. It has to be
bespoke shapes.
unique.
Yeah.
Nothing on the ship can be modular.
Yeah.
Every corridor, every room.
Everything's unique. So the amount of time investment.
I mean, there's some chairs, but even then, some of the chairs we couldn't reuse because of the shaping of the rooms.
So like molded something.
Yeah.
Right. There's
So like
lots of bespoke
everything.
geometry.
It was.
So yeah, we had a lot of people on there. We had some unfortunate people leaving, which they'd been here quite a while, so we'd lost a lot of sort of that team knowledge and part of rebuilding the team. Obviously, effectively, again, like we said, you don't get new staff members go, hey, welcome to the Banu Merchantman. Here's a completely bespoke thing that does not follow any of our existing art guidelines.
Yeah.
And all the time we would have put into that would be just for that ship. Mm-hmm. We get no reuse from it. So yes, we will do it again, but personally, I think the time is better spent on other capital ships to get people up to speed, and then we can start putting people back on it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of love within the team for the merchantman. I think it's
Except for the picture Mark took of it.
yeah, apart from Mark's
The
FOV.
FOV on that record.
I'm never going to hear the end of that, am I?
No.
No. Okay.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement there for it. It's just making sure that, again, like we said, that the team's set up to succeed with it and we can actually deliver it to the standards that we expect.
Can you imagine training new people on developing a brand new art style for a ship? Because I generally think Merchantman's going to be one of the
They
hardest
need to
ships
stop
build
talking
because
about
of
this.
All the additional
It's embarrassing.
factors involved with it, the scale of it, the the fact that nothing is really reused. It's all unique molded, all the rooms, all
They
the
try to
things.
sell more ships.
It's a different
Cool
like,
art style.
But when you look to these
in terms
guys,
of our like actual discipline, and
I'm
like, how we
getting
make ships,
More organic.
very
yeah,
frustrated.
It's like more like traditional vehicle modeling, like than it would be like a hard surface. where-
There's no
Hard surface
plan.
Meets organic.
They don't have the resources they need. They lose resources.
So we
They jump back
we've
and
worked
forth
that
on
process and
ships.
We had a good process in place, and it was just unfortunate that someone chose to go off and chase new adventures.
Stop
and,
selling
you know,
concepts.
best of luck and, you know,
Create a
the-
great
the
team.
But, you know,
And
that-
work
that
only on the backlog,
initial
man.
Kind of pre-production was done.
If you want to turn this ship around, this singing ship right now,
we can still deliver our current.
ships
like,
are the most
line of ships we
important
deliver
part of this
and
game,
we
guys.
do it justice and just takes a bit of
Not
time.
marketing.
Keep on top of bug backlog.
Keep the
tech debt.
backlog, fix
Feature
features.
support, because we're constantly supporting other feature teams. Like you've got the track. There was a lot of work with the tractor beam. There's a lot of work with the salvage, and there's other features coming online that we have to support, and all of them are time. Lots of time investment from our side to actually implement them in the ships and stuff like the resources.
We didn't get to it. One of the things we discussed about that I want to talk is when I talked about how we balance those things and stuff like this. We'll do another one. of
He's
these
frustrated.
sometime for
I feel so
probably
bad for him
in
sometimes.
November.
He's trying to
But
make
I definitely-
jokes
there's
and
definitely
keep
place
everyone
for a
happy, but it's not actually
in-depth
working, man.
discussion of
He's
how we
frustrated.
balance that workload. The balance between new ships and ships that are already on backlog, balance between giant capital ships or ships that are an entirely unique art style versus that those same people at the same time could crank out 4 other ships in the same period of time. How do you balance that? And then, of course, all the gameplay balance.
Hey,
And
don't
because
ask about a
there's
cracker, man.
197 different vehicles now and everything.
They cannot even
adding
get
more and more,
a
balancing,
Polaris done.
their capabilities and stuff. So there's a video like this that can just be all about balance, and I think we'll probably pursue that.
But they will sell it
because
tomorrow.
It's a conversation I would.
The
really
Kraken will
like
be
to have
sold
with
tomorrow
the
as a
community
limited
from it.
ship sale.
But that does it for today, gentlemen.
Thank you.
For
Finish.
taking the time to be here with me to hang out on.
This was a bad
on
one.
Friday. I'm going to need your help putting everything back. As you can see, there's a big giant change to the set, so I'm going to need you here for the next 2 or 3 hours.
I don't care about your set.
And put everything back. You good?
Sure.
Okay.
This was a-
First Citizen Live.
Are we good?
I'm
He
Jared.
said.
That was, let's see, what button? That was John, and that's Corey, and that's Chris, and that's Ben, and that's Mark, and that's Dan. Enjoy the rest of Invictus. I think there's
2
more
or 3
for
of these guys will be gone next year.
A weekend and stuff like that. If I had thought about it, I would have looked it up and told you about it. I'm not good at my job. And I'll see you next week.
He's also
tune in for
done.
Inside Star Citizen next week.
He's done.
We are talking about the resurrection like a phoenix of Arena Commander next week, and there's a lot of really cool stuff coming. So stay tuned for that. And I think we should just end it there.
You haven't done Corey's introduction of role.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Corey. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi.
So, guys. Oh, wow. Wow.
Baited him so hard.
Wow. Okay.
Ben, come back. Why are you not helping?
Such a jerk.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say I fixed that.
Wow. Good episode, people, right here.
Do it because
No,
people have been
say
really
it now.
mean to me.
Sorry.
I fixed that Invictus tint, the one that was funny colours.
Everyone was complaining on Reddit about
Yeah,
it.
like the
Yeah.
1,000 upvotes on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all visible and it's nice.
I'm going to roll it back though because everyone's been really mean to me today.
I don't think they're going to.
Chat wasn't mean to you, only us.
I saw someone actually making a remark about my beard that I found quite hurtful.
Is it that it's not impressive enough yet?
Yeah, it's not very good.
I ain't even got
I'm
one,
trying,
bro.
okay.
You know, true story, the very first video I did, the very first episode of Around the Verse back in like 2014, the #1 comment was, his beard has too many colors. And it shook me for like 2 weeks. Like, I'm like, what am I supposed to do about that? I can't help how many colors, so it's just,
Too many colours.
yeah, too many colors. Don't
Did you
don't
dye
read no, don't use, if I had, it'd be a single color. But no, just don't read YouTube comments.
I thought you maybe done like a
Yeah.
rainbow beard or something.
No.
Just like salt and pepper.
It's just his face.
It's just my face.
Bye.
All right. We're really going now, everybody. Bye.
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 Okay. Did they saw your post? Maybe they did, huh? Okay, guys. Wow. What a shit show, in my opinion. So, looking to my notes here. Wow. Anyway, I missed the first 30 minutes. I wanted to go earlier live today because of this ship roundtable. I was so excited to hear about the backlog and that they are working on these old ships and so on. So first of all, the whole schedule was messed up. Star Citizen this week is always Monday. Is a post on the RSI website. It said 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is 11 my time, which was strange because it's always 10 o'clock. So I was like, okay. So I changed my schedule and I planned to be live here to show the ship roundtable and discuss it at 11 o'clock. And there you go. I saw the message late that they already started 10 o'clock. Oh my God. But the last half hour, oh my gosh, man, it's embarrassing. This is embarrassing, man. Really, I mean, this is... They don't know what they are allowed to talk about. That's one thing I learned. They don't know about features being planned. They always have to work last minute to change certain things on ships because of new features other people planned from the same company. Okay? So communication is still bad. They lose a lot of people. Why they lose people? It's because the way they work. I tell you that. The way they work, totally unorganized, no real plan. They cannot stick to a plan if they have a plan. They never stick to a plan. Then they lose resources. They start scrambling again. So they are in this endless loop of not getting to work on the backlog because they are working 3 months and boom, the next guy comes and says, hey, here, a new concept ship. We need to work on that and present it, and we have, questions for that, and we need to answer them, and we have to sell it. They need to stop with their concept, with the structure right now, how they work. They sold already too many ships. They need to bring them in game. Some ships, I get that, and it's okay with me to bring it only during the launch of Squadron 42. But also there, we don't see any progress right now. We know they're working on it, but they work already since 10 years on it. So this was very frustrating to me, to hear those teams, again, saying the same things, looking to each other like, can I say it? Oh, I didn't work on this. Oh, sorry. Oh, this. Oh, yeah. And then when the guy says, the youngest guy, very motivated, oh, yeah, I can change that in 5 minutes. His boss is telling him, oh, don't say that. You need at least 2 days. Oh, come on, man. This is... I have to rant because the ships are the most important asset in the game. Everybody is in Star Citizen because of vehicles, not because every moon looks pretty and they like to fly their ships and they drive their ships and they put their vehicles in their ships. And they bought a lot of more ships they cannot fly in game. And of course, some of the older ships need some rework, but they work right now, so forget about it. Why to listen to people on Spectrum or Reddit, or if they complain about their ships, they bought it, they have them in-game. I do not have the Polaris in-game. I do not have the Banner Merchantman in-game. I do not have the Apollo. They sell it today for 250. They did, look at my notes. Apollo is not in production yet. Still not in production. They have one guy doing some preparation for it. Same for the Polaris. The concept is too old. Too many changes happened over the last 10 years, I guess. Now they have to change the Polaris from scratch. Wow. Guys, this was embarrassing show, and I could see the frustration. Jared was frustrated, very frustrated, because these guys look like, oh yeah, okay, maybe next year. Where is the guy putting pressure on these people to build a great team, to make sure not to lose people? They spend so many millions in commercials. Put this money in the ships, man. This will automatically pay back without even marketing. The marketing is live. It's all these YouTubers, including myself. I'm not full-time YouTuber, don't get me wrong. But we do a lot of marketing. Even me, small streamer, I already have 11 referrals, or 12 actually. And I'm a small streamer, not streamer, a content creator on YouTube. I don't stream usually, really. I like to create content, yeah, for Star Citizen. That's your marketing. Don't waste your money on marketing. We are the marketing for you guys. This game is amazing and will be amazing down the road. But if you continue at CIG this way, especially for the ships, we are screwed. Really. People gonna leave this game because it makes no sense. They're gonna realize sooner or later that, yeah, I'm addicted to buying concept starships, but they don't come out. No surprise that, you know, Star Citizen, a refund Reddit, subreddit is being more and more popular because they can rip you apart in just 5 minutes because, yeah, you don't deliver. And you showed today, CIG, you showed today why you don't deliver. I mean, those guys, they need leadership. They sit there like, oh, well, making fun about everything. The only guy is the youngest guy, Dan, who's very motivated. And they try to take this excitement from him. Like, oh, 5 minutes. Oh, no. I'm done, guys. Just crazy. In front of the camera. So you can imagine how it is in the back when we are not watching. Coffee, food, everything. This is so important. Jokes. We pay you guys. We are backers. We paid thousands. I paid, again, 300 today morning for a ship. Maybe I should really, really realize that this is wrong. Maybe I should not do that anymore. But they always find a way to get you to buy those beautiful ships. We just need a team, a real team, to bring them into the game. Guys. Anyway, let's check what they delivered today, because it's already after 11 o'clock. It's 11:19. So we'll see what they have in store today as a CCU game upgrade. And by the way, with the information about the Polaris that is going into production and will be actually the role model for the Galaxy and the Perseus, it looks like the next 2 years, from now till end of 24, they want to kick those ships out. These 3 ships. First the Polaris, then the Galaxy, and then the Perseus. So I'm going to pledge for the Polaris for sure. I have some kind of confidence that this was a true statement and they're going to stick to it. The Banu Merchantman is not coming. They don't work on it. The Apollo is not being started yet. So the good thing is, I think they work on the Spirit series. Small ships, by the way, guys. Okay. Oh my gosh. So today, the Nova is the Warbond edition. For 110 instead of 120. So you can save $10. available until tomorrow. See, I hope they will bring a better ship like the Polaris, for example, to give us a little sign, hey, buy this Warborn to get the Polaris. It will be in production soon. So yeah, no, let's change the CCU offer document. So it's the Nova for 110. You gonna grab that, Henry? Awesome. So is this good for you for your Vulture? So I changed it. And I have to announce that I purchased a ship. I purchased the Phoenix. Let's see if my little command works here. Yeah. There you go. I purchased it. So saves you 45 on the Vulture. Wow, pounds. Okay, awesome. Let me check if this Nova tank is actually good for my save chain. Let me open my save chain and recalculate. Let's see if it puts it in there. New money 10, what? Wait a second. Polaris 620, 17%. So something has changed. Yes. Oh, look at this. Another $10 saving. I can buy the Cutlass Black to the Nova and I'm good to go. So I will have to purchase this one. Nice. There you go. My Polaris chain actually improved even more. And I do have a 10% store coupon, which brings me another $50 saving. 10%, but maximum 50. It's always funny, right? So that is cool. So I need to save this. So actually helps me too, Henry. Helps me too. Unbelievable. Okay, I can save it. So are you going to wait until after? I'm not a tier 1 subscriber, no sir. I did not. I don't pay $20 a month for Star Citizen. $10. $10 a month. US dollar. So, yeah, I mean, I need to think about if I continue to do so, man. All right, what else we do have here? Paints. Just want to remind you guys, there is some paints out now for the sorry, I forgot the name. Lynx. Yep, and I'm gonna get the free paint pack for sure. I have a special offer as a concierge, and then I need to add, I think, the Moonrise paint. Yeah, I will do that. Very cool. And then, if you're a Constellation fan, there is a 6 paint pack with a 30% discount. I think I do own it in buyback, and I will actually bring a video how to use buyback. And I just learned today, if you're interested, guys, you can actually, I made a wrong statement the other day. You can actually purchase buybacks from your account with new money, real money. And then the interesting factor here is, I just learned this today. If you got something gifted, right, from someone else, you didn't pay anything for it, someone gifted it to you, or you paid for it, I mean, that's, yeah, and you melted it, it's in buyback, you bring it back from buyback with new money, with real dollar or pounds or whatever, euro, you can gift this again. you basically converted your buyback to a giftable item on your account. Pretty interesting. Very interesting. So, but anyway, the Invictus paint is online as well. I like the 6 paint pack. It's really cool. I do own that in buyback, and I will show how to buy it back to your account and make it giftable again with new money. So, and then I think I do not own this Constellation Invictus blue and gold paint. Let me check my paints. Constellation. No, I do not. But if I go to buyback and I do Constellation, you can see my 6-pack here. So I own them, but I do not have the Invictus, the blue paint. So, okay, so let's go to a Discord, to my favorite. I didn't do that yesterday, sorry guys, but let's go to the Invictus Launch Week channel here on the CCU Game App server. And Stefan wrote, today's war bond is the Nova with $10 savings. However, it requires a $10 purchase to get it, and that's a $50% saving, sorry. It has been seen better for new chainers. It could be something. Cutlass Black to Nova, there you go. $10. This war bond is the safest. However, alternative options are the Hawk and M50, which could also see future war bonds. We can all guess what will be the best pick in this case, but for me, it is the Cutlass Black, and that's what I will do, yeah? I will go from the Cutlass Black to a Nova tank, and I will add this to my Polaris chain. Perfect. So there's some information. We don't have to go through all of that. What you could do, speculation CCUs. Again, speculations. We don't see what they are really doing on the website. So, but there's some long-term and mid-term potentials. Please read that. Quite interesting if you are in the long run for the CCU game and you are saving up for something down the road, doing IAE or what they mentioned today, the Alien Week is coming up as well. Another Alien Week, oh my God, time is running fast. Then more speculation CCUs from Stefan. So you guys should read that really. There's long-term potential with the Constellation Andromeda to the Apollo. And then Angel of Mercy just wrote also Cutlass Black 2 Nova. This is not the best war bond, having only a 50% saving, but it's still quite good for getting a CCU in this awkward region. But as we heard from Henry, my subscriber here on YouTube, it is great for his Vulture chain. I'm glad to hear that, to save more money. I would wait until Drake is over and then do my move on Monday. Is it Monday? When is the show over? I forgot. It's pretty soon. But we have basically Drake Defense Con for 2 days, I think. And then there's a final 1 or 2 days. And this final 2 days, Tuesday's over. So I guess Monday and Tuesday are the final days, and you can see maybe more offers in store. I think that's what they did during IAE. So anyway, yeah, that's for today. Don't forget, guys, to come here. By the way, Henry had his very famous meme now on Reddit. I highly recommend checking that out. And yeah, you can find also this Warborn informations from the CCU game on my server, Little Jack's World. Guys, come and join us. We can play together, have some fun together. I'm planning on some events here on my server to play together with some of the people here. I do not have a lot of people here on my server, but I don't care. I like it. Those are great people, and sometimes we hang out and play together. And what else I want to say today? Other than I'm a little bit frustrated after that Star Citizen Live. Ooh, man. More gray hair for Jack Long. Whoo! What an event. Very disappointing. I'm really looking forward to... Oh, let's go to Twitter and see if someone had to say something. If they say something about the live event. Oh, no, people are just buying ships and yeah, no comment so far. That's funny. Pretty cool. So, everybody bought the Constellation Phoenix in Sweden for 437.50. Oh my God, I think that's because of the tax. Oh, it's written here. Wow, man. That is crazy. Yeah, no reaction yet to this live event. Maybe I missed something. Polaris Citizen live vehicle team panel in 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Guys, we should react to that. The newbie fire. Let's watch it. How to get there. Oh, here. Yeah, look the commercial. I like newbie fires.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's on. Hello, YouTubers. This is Anuba Fire. Today is the 26th of May, 2023. There was an hour-long Star Citizen Live all ships roundtable. It's not round. Jared said it's actually wing-shaped. Here's what you need to know. The vehicle team, like all of them, were on deck. A shout out to Jared for the addition of the Only Constants cool table. The backlit conference table is fantastic and has a future sci-fi kind of feel. We went directly into a discussion with no real intro. They spoke about how the snubs have no quantum drive and why, and it's obvious. They're small parasitic ships. It's part of the balance. We had Ben, John, Mark, Dan, Chris, and Corey. Jared said that they would talk for about an hour about vehicles and answer questions from Spectrum and live chat. Jared asked if there was such a thing as too many ships, and John said no, providing that they don't overlap in their style, in what they do. They confirmed 197 announced ships and buggies was the current mark. Diversity in the ships is done on purpose, with purpose, because not everyone likes the same thing. Jared asked about manufacturer style guides, and then stated that he noticed trends that are still made and followed. John confirmed that in-game manufacturers are clearly based on real car manufacturers. An example was when Porsche, who was exclusively making two-door sports cars, decided to make a four-door and then an SUV, and now that trend is dominating the market. They discussed that sometimes when a concept is being made, the team begins to discuss that it does not work in a specific style guide, and they may change it before launch, and the Vulcan begun as an anvil ship. They confirmed that they were not limited to the current variants for the Fury that we have. They went on a bit of a sidebar. Fury with wings, a Fury salvage that has claws, a racing Fury, and a melee Fury that has spiky knives on it. Spectrum wanted to know how they plan to address the ship backlog. And John said that they've been optimizing the workflow, and they're working towards a state where they may release one capital ship per year, but they need a larger team. But then they said that growing a team like this takes years.
Oh, no.
So, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable about that. They spoke about the Montreal ship team, the new one, and then they said that that's just part of the same big team. Modularity progress, ? John said that they had developed the Hull C, and because of this, testing loading of items to the hull was a thing. John said that there's nothing technically stopping them from developing modularity, but that it's not being worked on. And then someone asked physicalized damage ? Progress ? John said that they're developing this with the physics team, and this is a big one. Other teams are bashing issues with the vehicle teams in a new way, and this is not going to be limited to just vehicle, but it's going to have trickle down to environments and props, meaning that it's not just going to be a ship physicalized damage system. EUPU is working on tractor gameplay and progress is being made. A size 3 tractor can move a ship, a size 2 tractor can move a large container, and a size 1 tractor can move larger items. John confirmed that the Tally Gold standard is not quite ready for us. The Reclaimer needs a rework and there's no time provided. Jared went to the Polaris. Is it actually being worked on? They're investigating pre-production, which to me sounds like no. They're not working on it.
Yes, exactly.
Right? They are aware of how interested we are in having it. They said, perhaps soon it might go into production again, but I will say that that does not mean it'll be in production uninterrupted till release, like the BMM and countless other ships. Then John specifically covered this concern by saying that the roadmap does not properly show us when a person is tasked and then retasked elsewhere. He said that it lists that it's being worked on, but that does not actually mean that the person is only working on that as being fully committed to that. Legacy ships that are not ready for components will get a gold standard, and this is something that we've known for like 4 or 5 years. Watching the show, you can really tell that the developers over the years have worked very closely with either Chris or Tony Z because, you know, and that's it. A fun show. Thanks very much for spending your time with me. If you enjoy the breakdowns, please consider subscribing so I can help to keep you up to date. Look out for a contest. I'm going to give away a Polaris.
What? He's giving away a Polaris? Wow. Okay, so same impression, I guess, I had. Same impression I had. So what they are working on, you cannot even see it in the progress tracker. Exactly. And this is clear that they don't change, that the manager of this department doesn't change the progress tracker every day. I get that. I understand that. It's so much transparency is not needed. But I did not get any confidence in CIG today when it comes to the most important asset of this game, the ships and vehicles. I'm sorry. This was embarrassing. This needs to change. They need to add more people to the team and budget better for this area and maybe pay them better and get talented people out of different companies. They lost people. And you know what people always told me when I was still working for a big corporation? They said, people leave people, right? They don't leave the job. They don't leave colleagues. They leave people, certain people. And that tells me that the management needs to do something about it. Yeah, it could be benefits. It could be competitive pay. But these guys, the whole table there, I don't know who is the boss really. It's never really clear to me. They always forget their titles. They need one guy, one head, who is only working strategically on that department and get them up to speed with training, with motivational events, better incentives, better benefits, get the budget they need. This department needs to be way bigger. I tell you, from 800 people working at CIG, 200 needs to be in this department, man. Not 25 or 10 or 5. Come on, guys. They said they have 4 people working on ships in Montreal now. That's nothing. They outsource nothing. Saving money. But then they sell ships tomorrow. Henry, don't buy the Kraken, man. Tomorrow they're going to have a hull limited ship sale and they're going to sell out again, Kraken. And there's no word about those ships. 1 capital ship per year. When they want to bring all these capital ships? This is like 10 years from now. Anyway, guys, very frustrating day today for me. I know you can feel that, you can see that, but yeah. I guess we have to be happy with what we have right now in game. And that's fine. But yeah. Based on the face from Jared, he is very frustrated. I don't think this guy's gonna stay forever. Even he is, in my opinion, on the edge of jumping off that cliff. Like, goodbye, Star Citizen. This is because he is relying, his job, he is relying on good information. to answer the questions from backers, people who spend thousands of dollars, and that's what he gets, I'm sorry. That's not working. Not for Jared, not for the backers. Really. Very frustrating. Anyway, guys, enough rant today. Let's move on. We have Drake coming up tomorrow. Let's see what they have in store. Obviously, there's no RSI mining ship. I hope they will say something about it. We voted for it last year. But guess what? Another ship on the backlog. Who needs it? It's fine. All right, guys. I'll see you later. In the worst.